Lucille, and the white one is Gemma.
Hi. Archie, Ruby, Lucille, and Gemma?
Yeah.
Hey, Gemma. Oh my god, I love these things. Hi.
You guys need water?
What beautiful animals, though.
Yeah, it's put some ice cubes in it.
Warm.
Hey everybody, so I'm here with April and Joel of Minnie Sanctuary. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So they have graciously invited Jamie and I into their home and have a chat, and we got to see the chickens and whatnot. So I just wanted to, you know, I guess create a little bit of content and ask you guys what inspired you to actually start up a sanctuary.
I'll start. Part of what inspired us was when we moved to this house, there was a chicken coop, and the guy basically rehomed his other chickens, but one of them was getting picked on, so came back. So we had one chicken. So we're kind of like, well, we should get more chickens, because one chicken will basically freeze to death in the winter because they need each other's heat.
Right.
But I guess that's kind of the practical thing that inspired us.
Okay.
But of course, because we're vegan, we were interested in helping them out. We probably would have we were thinking chickens or ducks either way. And then since the one chicken was here, we went chickens.
And we also didn't want to support the breeding industry and whatnot, so we made sure that everything was going to be a rescue.
Okay. Yeah.
So that we don't support that,
Right. Our rule of thumb is sort of if it's abandoned or would be culled or killed and otherwise killed, then we'll take them, but we don't take anything else.
Okay. Oh, good stuff. And so it was chickens because there was a chicken here already.
Yeah.
And ducks. So I'm a bird person as well. Like I absolutely love birds, and we talked earlier, and it's because I think they're like little raptors, little dinosaurs. They are for sure. Yeah, April knows. So is there an appeal? Like, what is it about birds that you guys like?
I think probably just because they're treated so poorly, it kind of makes you want to help them more. I mean, I was never a huge bird person, but I do, enjoy the chickens quite a bit.
Yeah.
I grew up with birds around in a household that only had birds. I just adore them. I think they're beautiful. They're all really unique. They're very intelligent. Like they can learn lots of tricks. Not that that's important,
right?
But they definitely are super intelligent, and it's really special when you get affection from a bird, because it's a bit rarer, but when you get it, it's really intense. Like sometimes they'll like purr with happiness, which is really nice, like a little
That's
coo.
awesome.
And it's also amazing, like some of the birds we've gotten from really bad situations have been the most friendly.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it seems to me like there's always been a lot of misconceptions, and I've had them a lot as well, about like birds. You don't really think of them as being like as affectionate or as cuddly or whatever, because we're so used to mammals. We're so used to like cats and dogs, right, as being the pet animals. So like those are a couple misconceptions about birds. Anything else that you think like most people just don't understand about birds or any other animals from your experience?
Like you said, the intelligence. Like people think chickens are not smart, but they're like smarter than dogs. They're both. I think cats are also smarter than dogs, right? I think they're about cat level, which is fairly intelligent. They recognize faces, human faces and chicken faces, I guess.
Yeah.
And I can't remember some of the other things, but there's some pretty impressive things they do that kind of defeat that stereotype of them being stupid.
Okay, nice. I guess like, so on top of that, obviously you guys are vegan. You've been vegan, I think you were talking somewhere around like 5 years, and then
almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years, and it's been about 5 years for Jamie and about 4 years for me. Obviously that's something that obviously helps animals. If you had any advice for anybody else who wants to either like maybe they're not vegan, but they want to find ways to help out animals or do good things for animals. Any suggestions or thoughts on that? Or
Well, first of all, consider eating more plant-based. I know saying the idea of going vegan is really hard to kind of wrap your mind around at first, but if you start slowly, start introducing some different meals, you start realizing that there's a lot of things you can have. I think a big mistake a lot of people make when they try to go vegan is going straight to veganism, because you kind of don't know.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. You don't know what all your options are. So I think gradually stepping into that is really helpful.
yeah.
Another thing is, don't buy animals, adopt. Look around your local area and consider the factory farming around you, because it exists. You might think that, oh, I'm in the country, everyone takes care of their animals like they're individuals. A lot of that time that is a myth. That's a story a lot of farmers want you to believe. I've been to factories around Nova Scotia. They do exist. So you try not to support those places. The other thing is you can donate to your shelters, to animal initiatives to help animals, whether it's a sanctuary, volunteer, an animal shelter, a local community that's raising money for something that's useful.
Yeah, definitely. And there's probably a lot of places, like a lot of different like little sanctuaries, maybe like something that you guys got going on, or other places that could really just use a hand doing some of the stuff, right?
Yes.
Like one of the things that you guys had talked about was wanting to section off the one of the coop sections there, and you guys have a lot on your plate. I'm sure anybody can donate time to help out with any kind of things like that.
Yeah.
Things like that are probably very
Labor.
helpful as well. Labor,
Very helpful.
giving of your time if you don't have the money, obviously it goes a long way too. Yeah, I agree with that. And so you talked about some of the different factories and stuff that are here in Nova Scotia, and I know the mink farming is just, it's ridiculous. Like it's such a grotesque industry. So I would add that you can make other cruelty-free choices, like not buying fur, not buying leather. We've got so many great products out there now. There's synthetic materials. Like it's not hard to get
Or
a fake
even
leather or a
buying
fake.
secondhand.
Yeah,
It doesn't support that industry.
Really, as long as we're not creating any new supply or new demand for new supply for animal products, that's definitely a step, right? Okay, yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
There's one other thing. I think the idea of micro sanctuaries is really exciting to me, because we could all do that potentially. If we have a property, you could take a few animals, and raise awareness, and get people in your community involved. I think it's actually a lot, because each animal you save is like an entire life for them.
Yeah.
So even if you can save one animal, or 3 animals or whatever, it's all really important.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, like, I always think about, like, every now and then I have an existential crisis, and I think about, oh my God, what happened if I died? And I think about that, and it's like, when you really actually do value life, and you start thinking about what that actually means for these animals, like it's powerful, like it really is. So you guys have had some battery hens in the past that you've rescued. Unfortunately, they have passed on at this point, right? But you have some other rescues that were either going to be just killed off because they were no longer useful or whatever. That's really sad. And so I think that anybody who doesn't participate in that supply and demand chain, well, hopefully can put little mini sanctuaries like this out of business, right? Like, it's not that it's a business, but these things wouldn't be necessary if people were like not causing this to happen. Yeah. I don't know if that's really much of a point, but
That makes sense, yeah.
I don't know. Anything else you guys would want to add about either veganism, animal rights, sanctuaries?
I guess just expanding upon what she said with the factories here, and the people tend to think doesn't happen around here, and it does. And if you saw those chickens, like, they no feathers on their wings, their necks are picked clean.
They're emaciated.
Because they pluck each other when they're stressed, and they're sitting in their own feces, and
They
that
have
causes
burns.
on their bones, I
Ammonia
guess.
burns.
Yeah, and they never fully recover. Like, we've had them get quite a bit better, but they're like she said, their bone density is really bad.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes, you know, a lot of the feathers will grow back, but not all of them.
Yeah, and if you can't get their egg production under control, it's really hard to get that nutrition into them. We feed back the eggs that they lay, but it still isn't enough. They still only would digest a smaller portion of that compared to the whole nutrition
Right.
that they expel every time.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. Like, you know, I don't know as much about chickens and stuff as other animals, and maybe that's just how I was raised. And I think what the general population, we don't really think about birds and stuff as much as we do about mammals. But hearing about how these hens that are just layers, that are laying eggs all the time, I mean, that's leaching so much calcium out of their bodies and their bones, and causing issues like with broken legs and stuff.
Broken legs, egg
insane.
binding, where the egg cracks inside their body and can cause, you know, infection and wounds inside. They often also grow tumors because they have such a growth production that's so high. They really tend towards that. We've had several birds with tumors.
Wow,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys are definitely doing a lot, you know, donating your own time and your resources, and obviously it takes a lot. So if anybody does want to help out and, you know, help make this operation more successful, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video to go to your guys' website, and there is an option there for a donate link there on the website, I believe I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And you know, I just think it's great that you guys are doing this. I think it's amazing whenever you have people who are dedicating a part of their life, and obviously a big part of their life, to helping other animals recover and recoup and live out their days, you know, as comfortably as possible. Because as a society, we just tend not to really think about these animals, and I think that's the saddest part. So
Yeah.
hopefully this raises some awareness. And
I want to say thank you to everyone who donated. I want to say thank
Yeah,
you
thank
for
you.
you know using your birthday to raise money for animals, and then, you know, getting so much support from people around you. I think that's really important, and it's a big deal to us. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to help. And same thing to the people who did donate. Like, I think it's amazing. And I had some non-vegan friends, like we were talking about, that donated, and it's like, you know, I think everybody has a sense of compassion. Everybody wants to help animals. And maybe they just aren't ready to go vegan, or they're just, you know, whatever. But I think it shows that most people do care, and on some level are ready for veganism. Whether it'll come to fruition or not, who knows. But okay, well, I guess that's, unless you guys have anything else you wanna...
No,
Okay, great. Well, thanks again to Joel, April, of a Mini Sanctuary. We're gonna put that link in the description, and it was nice meeting the chickens, nice meeting you guys. Always nice to meet some vegans nearby in a rural
Likewise.
place in Nova Scotia, Canada, where there's like 6 of us all together that aren't in Halifax. But all right, so that's it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.